My name is Abina Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia, for Liberia, Liberia, for Liberia, yeah, 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 yeah. From Monday to Sunday, from Monday to Sunday, it's focus on Liberia. Talk about home affairs, eh? In diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday. Focus on.
All right. Okay. I thought I had a fourth person on here, but I guess not. Welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is On Point, your regular Sunday show, the longest running Sunday show on the Focus on Liberia platform. We're glad to be here today. We're glad to have you. Please share the show.
You're muted.
There we go. Yeah, so I think when I touched my mic, it kind of muted. Well, welcome again. Welcome to Focus on Liberia On Point. It is Sunday, and during Sunday, we have the longest running show on the Focus on Liberia platform. There's much has been going on in and around Liberia, and we're hoping we can capture that for you today. We have our inspiring hosts, as usual, Mr. J. Victor Nangwe and Mr. Joseph Tao with us this evening. Hopefully, Dr. Fidel Budi will be joining us. We'll see. But we are here. Please share the show. Let's reach as many people as possible, and let's get this ball rolling. Mr. Nangwe, how are you doing this Sunday?
Hey, Mr. Padmo, I'm doing well, thanks. I hope you're doing well yourself. It's good to be here. Hello to you as well, Mr. Tao, and hello to our audience. Happy Sunday, happy Super Bowl Sunday. I understand there is a Liberian on the coaching staff of the Seahawks. And I joined my brother Sinclair Avery, and the rest who are rooting for the Seahawks. I'm an Eagles fan, but the Eagles are not at the Super Bowl. But we have blood running through the veins of a coach who's on the Seahawks. I understand he's a defensive coach or something like that. Carl Scott, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
So, go Seahawks.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Tao, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm doing very well. I'm glad to be here. I've been off for some time, taking care of some family issue, but I'm back. Hello to Mr. Namwe and to you, Mr. Padmo, and to our viewers. I'm glad to be here today.
All right. That is great. And once again, to our audience out there, thanks for joining us. We always appreciate you when you can join us. I'm just going to give a shout. I know people are going to be coming through, and our regular people, please share the show. Let this go out. You can't be stingy with it. You know, you enjoy the show every Sunday. You gotta let your other people enjoy the show also. Yes, indeed. As much has been going on. Much has been going on in Liberia. We've managed to pull 3-4 topics out of everything that has been going on, and hopefully we can discuss that and get to the nitty-gritty of all of that. Okay, so let's get this going. We're running a little behind here, but we will get through these. So the first topic, the first thing that came out, and it came out actually earlier today. The executive mansion put out a press release. Okay, and that press release was concerning the all too familiar yellow machines. I'm actually pulling up the press release as we speak right now, but it was about the yellow machines, and it was quite intriguing. The president has established through his presidential powers a committee called the yellow machine. The yellow machine. let me. I need to pull up. I'm trying not to get the voice through here. But the yellow machine committee. Okay, at least that is what people are calling it right now. The yellow machine committee. Look, there's so many things that happen in our country, unless you see. I mean, when somebody tell you, and I didn't believe it. Like, you got to see it for yourself, and then you shake your head, you know, that, yeah, indeed, somebody actually did this. So I will just read a gist before we get through the topic. I'll just read a gist of the press release, okay? For immediate release, President Boyka establishes Yellow Machine Management Team, tipped former Defense Minister Brownie Samokar as executive chairperson. February 8th, 2026. Y'all heard it here. Okay. So now it's being called the Yellow Machine Board of Authority. And Brownie Samokar is considered to be the executive chairperson of his coordinating committee. And then under it, you have a bunch of statutory seats. You have the Ministry of Presidential Affairs, the Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Finance, Development Planning, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Agriculture, Local Government, Ministry of Information. Yes. So Jesus Christ. And so this is what the president now. You know, when this whole idea of the yellow machine started, right? There were questions that we asked, okay? Because it just appeared so disorganized and so helter-skelter, you know? And so we asked some very simple questions like, what is the purpose? What's the idea? You know, how did you guys come upon this? What is the plan? We all agree that we need roles. We all agree that we need yellow machine to create roles. We all agree that we need farm to market roles, market to farm roles, and we all agree that yellow machine will move that effort forward. But what is the plan? Why yellow machines? Why 285? Who came on that number? Have you guys know we stuck on that number? 285.
That's right.
What actually fed into that particular number that is just stuck? You know, and what is the plan? How are you guys going to operate this? How many machines are going to go to which county? Which machines are going to go to which county? Who's going to run this thing? These were the questions we asked, and nobody could tell us an answer. And later on, I started to realize the reason why we're not getting answer was because there is no answer. There's absolutely no answer. The reason why there is no answer is because there is no plan. Somebody just come out and say, look, if we import 285 machines, the morale we'll get from over there will win 2029.
The chopping will be big too now, don't
Yes.
forget.
You know, they're going to go to sue people. So allegedly, somebody in the president's office, you know, allegedly somebody in the president's office was crossing D and riding on top of a car, you know, And we're talking about 85 million. And the 85 million went from 85 million to 21 million. And nobody was fired. Nobody was reprimanded.
Yeah.
They just put it under the table. And if you ask me today, I will tell you, I know Liberia. I know Liberia well. That project, even that 21 million, it's inside. Now, not the correct press there. That 21 million, not the correct press. There's eating in that 20. It just not plenty of high war before, but there's eating in that 21 million. So, yeah, here's the thing. So we have a committee now. We don't have a legislative body overseeing this thing. You take note now. We don't have a legislative body. We don't have a minister of public works that the legislature can summon, right, before them and say, come and tell us what you do with the 285 machine. Come and tell us why this is not happening. You don't have a legislative body to do that anymore, because the committee is just a committee. They're not answerable to anybody but the president. That's the only person they're answerable to. And then to put the icing on the cake before I bring you guys in, listen to this part. Right here, where it says, yeah, let me find it for you. Right here. Okay. So now this committee now is being called, right? This committee is being called
Imboa. Yellow
so that one at the bowl.
bowl.
Yeah. Then under that bowl, they get a committee that under that bowl, right? That committee now is being branded the Special Presidential Project Coordinating Committee. So all of a sudden, they 285 yellow machine that's also kind of country and be a government project. A government policy is now being turned into a presidential project. So now it's part of the presidential projects. You know how you go, you face the table and chair, then he donated, and nobody can ask him how much he paid for it and how much he spent on it. We are here. Okay? This is the 47 years of governmental experience. So let me let you in, Mr. Tao. Yeah, we are. We get presidential project now, which is a 285 yellow machine. I believe those things we didn't even completely pay for it. We only pay small money now. The Liberian government, the Liberian people, we owe the Chinese people. But here we are now. We get a committee that is running this. Let me hear you, Chief.
Okay. So thanks for calling me. In the first place, there is no proof that there is any 285 yellow machine available. That's the first thing. We heard this before, almost 2 years ago. And it was a sim fiasco. But this is what I will say. You mentioned it earlier, because when the thing started, the question was, how did you decide that you're going to bring in this amount of machine? What is the purpose? Like, yeah, we know that roads are supposed to be built, but things are supposed to be allocated based on certain planning, based on the need, and based on the size of the project, and based on many other things. So how did they come up with this number? That's one. Two, all of the people that were involved in this particular stuff, you don't see any technical person in there. People that understand. You don't see any engineer. You don't see no planning kind of person. You don't see no city planning or no. You don't see any of those. And what, for me, what is leading to some of these things? Look, Ellen did a lot of damage to the country. Because she wanted to undertake these fake projects, and she didn't want the money to move from under finance, so that because she had her son Americana and this one there now, so she forced finance and planning and merged them, so that everything was decided in there. Because the confusion here, imagine if you have development planning as a ministry, that is actually really needed. The ministries that are supposed to be cut or merged are left. But the ones that are supposed to be separate, she merged them. Why? Because why will you take the money and put it in planning and you have to come for it again? But you leave it on a finance where you can actually hustle it out. So because that development planning is out, a finance minister is supposed to only be able to just issue checks. They are not development people. They cannot plan development. That is not their place. So if planning was sitting by itself in development, there will be no need for all these committees, even though it's still wrong, but there will be no need for them because they will coordinate with public works. Right? Because there will be a plan already on what they need to do, and then that will determine what they're ordering, and then in collaboration with public works, that will implement. But you see what they did? They removed planning and development. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have to put this committee together that is not even needed. And then in putting it together, you put a man who is convicted, who stole, who was found guilty,
and still owe us,
removed from a senatorial seat or whatever it was because of that.
Lofa County senatorial seat, yes.
And then you still bring this man and put him over something. The committee shouldn't even exist because public works is there. So if you already had a plan, why are you putting your committee? Because I read some of this stuff to determine how it will be used to report.
Thank you.
Who are they?
Thank you.
What ability do they have? And you know, from my own technical background, I've been trying to check because remember it was 85 million, then it came to 21. And Brother Nangwe hit on something here. He said probably that 21 million is not even it. Because I've been trying to find the specification for each of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Because the specification will let you know what the cost per unit could be. And then you can gauge it for you to see. It doesn't exist. We keep hearing they will bring the one, they will bring truck, they will bring, but what are the specs on these things? It doesn't exist. So let me tell you something. China have trucks that they're selling for $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
Their front end loaders in China that they're selling for $3,000. They can barely move dirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are not giving the lab in the specification, but they just tell them that they're bringing 285 machines in. And then they throw some numbers. Because if we give these specifications, we can look at it. And we say, you know what? Yes, with these specs, 21 million look like, plus or minus. Or 25 million, but you are not giving, like the fire truck stuff. Some guy just wake up and say, what, $1 million?
Yeah.
And then we know even at New York, at most of the major area, they have the fire trucks over there for around or 70 and 50,000 and 45,000 and 100,000. They have them in various stages, but they just throw numbers. So this is where we are. But
let me read that part. Let me read that part if I could. Dr. Booty, welcome. Let me read that part, Mr. Tao, please. Okay, on the press release, because this is very important.
Yeah,
it's extremely important. It says a cardinal responsibility of the SPPCC, which is the Special Presidential Project, right? Is to prepare and submit to the YMBOA the National Deployment Plan for approval.
Look at that.
And to implement the approved plan.
So who are these guys? Do they have the ability? So you can see already that this thing has failed from the beginning. So all is, if you see them pushing this 285 machine, there is some money in there that they're going to make, or they already chopped some money and they can't stop now and they have to go along with it. But this is what I would say before I end my input on this. This is why I am against, each time I hear that they need to raise domestic revenue, I'm against it. Because raising domestic revenue means you are trying to tax the people in that country. A government or governance system that is so corrupt that no matter how much money you give them, they will find a way for them to steal it. They will not invest in the people. You can look at the budget. If they raise the budget to 1.2 billion, there is nothing invested in the country. Everything is siphoned off through salaries and bogus benefits and all kinds of staffing. So when I'm here, when I say no, they should not raise no taxes on the people. That the people should refuse to pay it. Then they say, oh, you don't want for the country to develop. The country cannot develop no matter how much money you put in the guys in. They will pay themselves off and they will steal it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Mr. Nangwe. Mr. Nangwe. So here we have it. About I'd say a little less than a month ago, we saw the Deputy Minister for Public Works. He was in China. He was running around the people port, and he was showing yellow machine that will come to put on the ship. And now today we see a special committee to come up with a plan. Right? Yeah.
Right.
So here we are. Please let me hear your contribution to this.
Yeah. I wish I could help you make it make sense, Michael, but I'll try. First of all, let me welcome this young brother. Everybody's running for America. He's the only man who can hear ISIS on the prowl, and he comes to America. But anyway, Dr. Booty, welcome to the US of A. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
First of all, Michael, let me say this. The president.
Are you the quiet location? They may ask you the quiet location.
I have no reason why my location cannot be disclosed.
Thank you very much. You don't mind, Minister Puna, they quick on telling ICE this man somewhere here. They can report people. But first of all, look, there are a few things that this president just over the past few days. First of all, he's poaching, right? Party members from other party members. He extracted resignation from Kanyo Baibala from the CDC just to put him on a board, of Grand Union University, right? Today, Kanyo's letter is making a round. He has resigned from the CDC. Did the president really? Did he need that? I don't know, but I guess that's gonna be for another day. But Michael, you asked why 285, and somebody, I think Emmanuel Jackson also is doing the math for you.
Yeah.
If
you made it about 15 countries, 19.
Thank you very much. Never mind that the countries are not equal. I mean, Rogi and Lofa are not the same size. I'm from Maryland. I can't tell you, say, give me 19 yellow machine because you give me Bon County 19 yellow machine. That would be unfair. But that is the rationale, 19 machine, whether y'all want it or not, we'll get your 19.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, we get 19 for you. You want to park something more of you ain't got space to park it at your business. We'll get your 19. But, again, the size of the purchase determine the loot, the chopping that comes with it. So, Mamaka Ability and the team, you said it went from almost $80 million.
I didn't call that name. Now, you don't call that.
You didn't call that name.
I just want to make it clear.
My man,
I give Mr. Padmo, why are you hiding all kinds of things? First, you accused the man of disclosing my location. Now you say, why are you calling me?
I don't know why I didn't mention to Dr. Booty.
The Supreme Court bench, the entire Supreme Court bench, with all of the problems that are in the country, they have decided to summon a Facebook man to answer. I'm making you up. And I'm going to reach you.
I guess you got to be careful what you say, right? You gotta be careful what you say. But and tomorrow the kids, that tomorrow we'll be watching.
Yeah,
or that Tuesday. That Tuesday.
No, Tuesday,
yeah.
Sorry.
So the price, I can tell you how the government, calculates their prices. I mean, I know that because the Job River bridge that we're building in Bon County, we started the bridge, they told us to leave it. We didn't have the blueprint. We sent a blueprint, they said, okay, we'll do it. We said no, we'll do it. Then they sent us the price. They say I'm gonna do it for 1.3 million. We told them no, we're not doing it. We can do it for $518,000. But this is how they come up with the prices. So much fluff. So 85, wherever it is, and they better not send me any kind of real contempt. I ain't said nothing about anything. I'm just saying the facts here. They send me any ray, I'll put it in the toilet. I was doing the toilet. But come back to the whole process here. Didn't Dr. Moniba run the presidential delivery unit at the mansion for President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, for Vice President Joseph Nyoma Boakai? Is he not aware of that? Now he has to go and form a whole brand new committee. And I was just reading here. The committee is supposed to hire its own support staff. That another budgetary item coming to be added to an already bloated government payroll. You understand me? And what are they going to do? Do you really need a bowl on the yellow machine? I mean, seriously. I mean, Dr. Budi, you got to tell me. So, do we need a bowl on yellow machine, Michael? I mean, and then has BJ, and I know BJ is a friend, but what the facts are the facts. Has he been pardoned by the president because he's a convict, Mr. Felon?
Yeah, he is a felon, and he does owe the government like drug money, because that was the stipulation that was set up by
Yes, he was able to make payment.
If you pay the money, we'll drop everything against you. As a matter of fact, they were even prepared for him to take a senatorial seat. All you had to do was pay the money, and he couldn't come out of the map.
No. And I just said Jala got in the Senate because he had to take his spot.
Yes.
But anyway, Dr. Budi, I'll pass it on to you, my brother. But there's just so many questions. I mean, it's really, 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 really disconcerting what is happening. Some of these things really, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You already have a presidential delivery unit that is responsible for all presidential projects. What do you need a brand new committee? Why?
Got a brand new job in chief.
All right. Anyway,
Dr. Budi, welcome to the US. I was not the one that put it Osa. You got to blame Nangwe, okay? And Nangwe put it Osa. Welcome to the US. We are glad to have you in these icy streets.
My man, Chief Justice President, no Michael Padmo, Jeff Victor now. Don't worry, your road. I can't my road. I go to your house.
Let me tell you right now. Let me tell you, Chief Justice, my uncle. I let to put my own teeth Osa. My own uncle, he can't do nothing to me. The old man will call you.
Me, you know where to find you. You can't have him.
The old man will call him and crown him. Yeah, But so welcome to these icy streets. We're glad to have you on this side of the pond. But here we are, my man. So now we are operating the Yellow Machine Back Committee, and of course, I don't know if you know this, but BJ is the president's nephew. Okay, he's the president's nephew.
Who's BJ?
Oh, Brandon J. Samuka.
Okay.
Yeah. Another nephew besides Joe Mova, who is another nephew who's running all the projects. And a special project again. So what you BJ will do now?
A special project.
Nephew to nephew.
So Honorable Brandon J. Samuka, has been ordained the head of the board. He's also he got 3 positions on the particular thing. I don't know if you guys noticed it. He has about 3 positions, okay? He's the head of the board. He's also the national coordinator. So now, the SPPCC, right? It has the following composition. Honorable Brandon J. Samuka, national coordinator. Honorable Raja S.W.Y. Doma. I don't know if you guys remember Raja Doma. He's the deputy coordinator for administration. Then you have Honorable Saint Jerome Labili. He is an AFL. I remember that he's a security guy. He's not an engineer. He's not a.
Roger Doma was the guy who contested against Musa Belete in District Number 7.
Yes. And Jerome Labili is the deputy coordinator for operations. There you have it. That Brandon J. Samuka first position. Then under that position again, right? Let me give you another position that he get now. He is also where you get it right here. The president has announced the establishment of the Yellow Machine Board of Authority (YMBOA), appointing former Defense Minister Brandon J. Samuka as executive chairperson. That the second position he get in the yellow machine. Yes. Okay, he the executive chairperson, okay, of the board. So there you go. But yeah, you have it, man. Let's hear you. The yellow machine in this committee.
Well, I think first of all, Mr. Nangwe did touch on, and obviously Mr. Nangwe is my crew brother, so I'm happy for him to disclose my location at any time. So there won't be any rape coming, to his door to say why. If it were Mr. Tao, then a different thing we talk about. But anyway, it's great to be here. It's cold, very cold outside. I came in on Friday. Yeah, I came in on Friday. And I'm actually in Virginia, Woodbridge, in Virginia, and it's really cold. So I think Minnesota on there, and they will just take me off on the road because I'll freeze by the time I even get to knock on your door. But look, I think we've discussed before the fact that this president has been very happy to appoint people from his part of the country to most ministries, most government positions, and all of these different committees we see coming up. He's happy to do that. All right, and sometimes people might say, look, well, these guys are actually people who have the experience or expertise to be able to deliver. But the yellow machines were brought in, or when they initially talked about it, it was about road construction. It was about development in the counties. And you again, I'm not the best student of Liberian government, but you have the Ministry of Public Works that one would think should be overseeing development or public work projects across the country. Yes. Why the office of the president should even have a special projects unit or whatever it is, it's just, in my opinion, President Sirleaf, I think, was the first who brought that in. It's a waste of money. As always, is an opportunity to, as Mr. Tao will put it, repay the support of individuals who supported this president during the campaign. And they just
don't forget to remind me of Tao that BJ is not from the diaspora. Please tell him.
Well, Mr. Tao would argue that he worked across Africa and stuff like that. So there is an argument that he can be from the diaspora. Not that he's no, but he man worked out of Liberia for years for the UN, didn't he?
No. He went on for no UN on any other. No. Brady just rocking in from 1990. Brady, what I got to know, Brady was through with Emerson and Kingdom Power.
You mean that since your time?
Black Berets.
Yes.
Brady, Madison Toba, Brady Sabaka, that.
Madison Toba,
trust me.
Correct.
Okay, so maybe my confusion was the fact that they went for training overseas.
Yes.
Right?
He has
that's my confusion.
Training and education outside of the country. Yes, he does.
Mr. Tao, sorry, I'm trying to give you ammunition, but the 2 minutes in.
No, I'll come back.
Don't have me. Don't have. You're not gonna. When Daphne talking, we're moving on to the next topic.
I will address that.
Nothing right.
No, yeah, but I think look, this is another opportunity to, these guys have come up with this budget of 1.2 billion. And they need to find ways to chop the extra money, right? And I think this is exactly what we see with all these various committees. We know that Brani Samakai was a Unity Party minister of government. Yeah. We know that, and I'll be honest with you, when the CDC went after him, I felt that was inappropriate. I think, he made it clear, and the evidence suggested that he was working based on instructions from the commander-in-chief. And because they couldn't touch her, they decided to scapegoat him, right? And I thought it was unfair, right? So it's basically this president trying to say, okay, look, since these people treated my cousin or my nephew in a horrible way, let me try and how did they put it? Make him right or make him whole, kind of thing, right? Whatever it is that he didn't make as a senator for.
But then let him pay the bull money that he owed. Let him pay the bull money.
But he wouldn't. End of the day, that's not how it works in Liberia. You know that, and I'm glad, obviously, that you, Mr. Nangwe, gave us this disparity in terms of the pricing. Right, when you talked about the bridge, that they're saying to you 1.3 million when you've costed it at 519. So the question is, when we talk about the price of the yellow machines, we can almost see that these might have been inflated by 100%. So if this thing is supposed to cost 20 million and you're telling us 40 million, then we know that it's 20 million. So I'm really glad that you made that point, because obviously your project, you've gone there, you're spending money, that somebody worked hard for. Whereas these guys just in elaborate money is money that they should be wasting. And it's a shame. I think we do not need all these committees, right? If anything, um, we should be as a government cutting waste, right? That is what this government should be focused on, cutting waste instead of adding more. Because asset recovery, we still don't know. We haven't seen any report of the 300 and something thousand or the 400,000 that they gave them as budget. They've not reported on what they recovered. So we gave you 400,000 as a budget. What did you recover? What is the output for
Yes.
the
We
400,000
projected
we gave
20
you, right?
million. They projected 20 million possible recovery
Exactly.
in the budget.
Exactly. So where is that? Have we seen a report to say, look, like people, we spent your 400,000. Here is the 10 million or the 5 million or the 6 million. Here are the individuals that we collected it from. Here are the processes that we went through to collect that. We've not seen that. And then he set up new committee, War Crimes Code Committee. That one, I don't even know what happened with it because nobody can hear anything. They gave them their first budget, their money training. They said, we want more money. The president said, yeah, leave that one. Because Donald Trump came and said, my people, your War Crimes Code, you're on your own. If you're depending on us to support it, no. Right? So look, it's just another example of how wasteful we can be as a country. And this president is exhibiting again by setting up all these committees and appointing one man. I know we get clever people in Liberia, but Abraham Samuel man must be very clever for he want to hold three positions. That no other person can work in. He won't need to do three jobs. That's how good he is. And unfortunately, I'll leave it there. Unfortunately, the Liberian people are the ones that are going to suffer because they will pay. And Mr. Tao was talking about extra taxes, right? Apparently, the land authority has just passed a new regulation in January that those all get land in Liberia now. We got to digitize our deeds or whatever. So that's an extra tax that we gonna have to pay so that they can be able to fund their 1.2 billion and then give these guys monies that should be going to our people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's it.
Let me ask a question real quick, please.
Go ahead, Chief.
What I don't understand here is this. This is why, look, we have to dismantle this governing system. Okay, here is from what Mr. Nangwe said. CMC is building a bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
If USAID came to the country or somebody from Sweden or somebody from Germany and they said they were building a bridge, the government would be clapping. But here is CMC trying to build a bridge that is needed. What qualms does the government have with that to say they should stop it?
Okay.
They're not destroying a forest. They're not draining any kind of river. They are building a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So if the government comes and says stop it, I'm just trying to figure out what is the rationale. And then you are telling them what they should give you, the government. I don't get it. So this is where we are. So because we keep crying about sovereignty, right? But here is an internal group that is trying to do something. You stop them because you feel that they're going to be in your district, and this is kind of stupid political nonsense that they play. So they don't care about the people. If I'm in my district and they give me development funds to even build Palava Hut, and I squander it, and then somebody else come there, then now I start feeling threatened, insecure, and that is what you are seeing.
There you go. But there you have it, people. There you have it. This yellow machine thing. Somebody once, they told me, they said, my man, they think we'll see it to the end. I obviously know that we'll see it to the end, Whether it will be a good end or a horrible end that we're trying to work with, but we'll definitely see it to the end. Some yellow machines are on the way. As far as we have been alerted by the president and the executive mansion. How many on the way, we don't know. The one that they brought before, I think there were like 30 of them or so. I can't remember the time. But they went and parked in the BTC in front of the sea so it can rot. But anyway, they went and parked it after driving around Monrovia. They parked it, and we haven't heard anything from it then.
Yeah, this is what we heard. That the deal for that one is not good. They were going to send it back. I read several news articles and I saw several interviews only like about 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
a month ago that they're going to send that one back and the one is going to come in.
Okay. So there you have it, people. You know, I wish I had known that, because they probably are going to banjo that into me. Instead, because the cost to carry back and forth, it would be, it'll be easier. Just sell it to a bunch of Liberian people for cheap. Yes, sir.
Before you move on, let me just appreciate La Voce Walter Wayne. Apparently, you know, you remember when BJ appeared at the church with President Weir.
Yes, for Clecon Church.
Exactly. I think that thing that has kept him out of government since Boaga being in the mansion. Apparently, but he's right. I think the president did pardon him because of that appeal. This person is right. So
I know he appeared.
Yeah.
I remember he appeared from Clecon Church for blessing. I did not know that he might have been
in the heat of the campaign.
Yes,
you know?
I remember.
Mr. Padme, say he went for what? Blessing?
Blessing.
He went for blessing.
He went for blessing.
I mean, I
didn't know that he was pardoned and all of his rights were restored. But that should be a presidential proclamation, and that should be public, right? Yeah. Because if all of his rights were restored, you know, then it should be public.
But it was conditional, though. You have to pay back the poor money.
I thought that one. I
don't think it was a full, you know. It was.
But I believe it was based on that. But anyway. Yeah. But yeah, we have it. Brownie is back, okay? And Brownie is going to be heading this. We don't know where the money is going to come from. We're assuming it's a presidential project. The money is going to come from the presidential project, because Brownie is not authorized to spend Liberian people money, right? So the legislature has not allocated any money to this committee, as far as we know, because the legislature is not even aware of this committee. This committee was formed in Boaga Baya and was, you know, it was blessed there. And so, yeah, we have it. But we have much more. We'll continue talking about the yellow machine as they come. So Brandon is a smart guy. And I know that, you know, we'll see more to this. But let's move on here. One of the things we have seen in the past a week and a half to 2 weeks, it has been slowly building, but in the last week and a half to 2 weeks, we've seen it kind of just increase. And it is the demolition of property. Some of them private property, private citizens reclaiming their property through court order. And some of it has been public property, like the Ramrod 72nd Barracks in Pinsville. That has been reclaimed by the Armed Forces of Liberia, AFL. People are being displaced. Families are being displaced. People are losing their homes. People are losing their businesses. People are losing their jobs. I mean, you have to look at it from just the cascading effect of this, right? Because if a man, you know, Liberians, when they calculate economic vibrancy, they say every individual, right, affects 5 people. So if you give 1 man job, you have affected 5 people. At the same time, if that 1 man loses his job, that affects 5 people. If that 1 man loses his home, that affects 5 people. And within those 5 people, you have the wife, you have the kids. You might even have an older parent, okay? So now you have kids that are in school, right now we're in the middle of school, the school year. So if a kid is living with his parents in the 72nd area, and all of a sudden, they get nowhere to live, and you expect that kid to wake up Monday morning and go to school tomorrow, how does that work? You know? If he has to go and be temporarily displaced with some relative, and depending on where the relative lives now, because if you and your family live in 72nd, most likely, if you're lucky, you go into Sinkizito to relay. Now, if your uncle that you're living with, he lives in Point 4, You're not going to leave point 4 in the morning to go all the way to CTC. They find the paper and get money, so you need to do that. So then how do you go to school? How do you go to school, right? If your mom used to sell market, she probably used to sell relay. Now she has to leave Douala to go relay every day to go sell. You know? And usually, we know how things work, right? The woman will go in the morning. After everybody leave for school, the woman will go to the market. She'll go sell her market. You, Jumbo, when you come from school, you change your clothes, you come into the market to come sell, so the woman can go home to start preparing the food. That's how it works. And then Jumbo will be to the market selling. And then at the end of the day, the woman will come back to check the money and then to help you break down the market for that day. Now, all of a sudden, those people are displaced. It's just a cascading effect. Dr. Booty, let me hear from you. Look, I have property in Liberia. I know how tough it is to protect your property in Liberia. I am glad that something is being done, by the courts to kind of flex their muscle so people can think twice before either squatting on somebody's land or going to buy property that is in contention, So I'm glad of that. But at the same time, the process that this is going, the process this is taking, the impact that this is having on the common Liberian. And all the president had to say, God, making new. The prophet said, God, making new land. The land I hear that the land will get. So if you want to put that land for AFL should claim that land, the people need to move. Let me hear you. The people need to move.
Wow. I was hoping that you went to one of the other gentlemen first to give me some more ammunition too. So anyway, this afternoon, early afternoon, we were eating kisao guri around the table with family, right? And that conversation came up about a lot of demolitions that are going on in Liberia. And my focus at the time, I was talking to my cousin, was on the human aspect of it, right? Especially as it relates to public land, right? A lot of the people in and around Monrovia who were squatting on public land are people who fled civil conflict, during the war from the rural part of Liberia because, the rebel activities were quite deadly, especially with the latest one in terms of 2001, 2002, and so on. And these people came to Monrovia, squatted on these lands, and started to develop the land. Again, the argument, as we had it around the table this afternoon, is that, look, they're wrong. They did something illegal for squatting on government land. We're not saying that they didn't squat. They did, yeah. But at the same time, there's a human aspect of it, and I'm really glad in terms of how you lay it down, because those are some of the things we were talking about. At least, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Before people start coming up with the comments, in my opinion, there has to be a consideration of the human aspect for public land. I think private land, I'm not sure, and I will leave it with others. If someone was on my land and build a structure that was inadequate for my land or inappropriate, or it's not something I want to use, right? So maybe like a shack or something like that I will demolish. I'm not sure if I'll be in a position to say, oh, my man, since you spend 4,000 to put this thing up, even though I'm going to break it down, but let me compensate you. It's difficult for an individual to do that, right? But we're looking at it, and when we discussed it today, we were looking at it from the perspective of the Liberian government. The Liberian government can afford, right, to maybe relocate some of these people to low income housing opportunities, right? The approach has to be holistic. Well, if I was the president came to me and said, look, how would you deal with these things? We got all these thousands of people on government land. We need to get them off because we need to develop the land, right? The AFL need their barracks and stuff like that. So how do you deal with it? My thing would be, look, we need to establish how many people are there, why they're there. Now, again, some people are just doing illegal stuff, but if someone can genuinely prove that, look, I was living in whatever part of Bon County or wherever, and the war was hot, I left and then came to Monrovia, and then I was here initially with Zingra, but because obviously the land is vacant, over time, I've developed it to make it more comfortable for me and my family. Then the government of Liberia should consider, from a human perspective, because these are Liberian citizens, and the government has a duty to make sure that their well-being is catered to, right? Which is why I would advocate that, look, you say, okay, how did you come here? Why did you come here? Is there a way that we can help you? Even if we're not going to give you the full cost of the structure that you put on the land, but let's get you something that at least you can go rent somewhere for a year or two until you can get back on your feet, right? It wouldn't cost the Liberian government that much, because again, if we were managing the 1.2 billion adequately, right, they could easily take, I don't know, 20 million out of that, build some low income housing, right? Build some low income housing across the country and say, look, okay, happy? If you say you came here because of the war, now we're going to give you these houses. We're going to rent them out to you very cheap, right? Because obviously it's government built, right? You're not going to be free, right? But at least you have a home to go into, right? You have a home. That's the human social responsibility aspect of the Liberian government. That's how the thinking would be. Let's take some of this money, let's build these homes, and then we can relocate these people and then break the things down or renovate the AFL buildings for them to go back in. For the private one, it's a difficult one. I won't lie to you, because if somebody went and built on my land and it's a structure that I don't intend to utilize, it's private. There's nothing I personally would do. I ain't going to take my little 1,000, 2,000 to compensate you for building on my land, and I'm government right? But so that my point is, we have to look at these as two separate situations. Private land has to be dealt with differently. Public land, the government needs to be more responsible. I don't think you just go and break people's structures down, even though they're on government land, and then just expect them to go and start over. And like you said, you're taking children out of their school districts. If we use the American or European version of it, they're going out of their school districts. They don't have the financial means to have to travel all the way back. They now have to build new social networks, with new children in a new school. And all of these things is why you want to look at it from a human perspective. Like, how is this going to impact on ordinary Liberian citizens? And as a government, what is our responsibility to our people?
Exactly. And I think you even giving the government too much leeway. For me, I'm to be honest with you, you're giving the government too much leeway. Look, the government has a responsibility to its citizens. Even private land, even if the court say you own a man land, you need to move. You know who will move there? The government. You are not going to go move them. Government can put them on a 1 year and say, look, because of these economic conditions in the country, we honor the court, we hear what the court said, we will implement this within 1 year. Give us time.
Mr. Padmo, let me interrupt you there. I apologize for interrupting, but imagine you, right? You bought a piece of land, let's say EAW Junction, right?
Yeah.
And that land, someone has encroached on that land, right? And let you here, you bring your back here in the cold Minnesota, you now raise your money, you're ready to go and develop your land. Today, you won't go develop. Then the government laboratory say, okay, Mr. Padmo, happening? We know you won't develop your land. We know you've been working on more 20 years, you now raise all the money here. But wait for 1 more year. Do you think that is fair to you as an individual, that you must wait 1 year extra?
So here's the thing, right? Is it fair, right? It was not fair in the beginning when somebody told my land I had to carry into court for maybe the last 10 years and spend all that money. It wasn't fair. But here's the thing you have to understand, is the condition on the ground. But think about it though, right? Think about it. And look, I'm not looking for fairness, right? I'm not looking for fairness, but here's the thing. And here's where I'm coming from. And now where you can come in from here, right? Every single individual that becomes displaced in Liberia becomes the government's problem. Right? You see crime go up. When these communities are broken down, you see crime go up. You see unemployment go up. You see drug use go up. Guess who that's going to affect? Because the government not going to do much about it. That you and I. So now when I'm going to build my next little house over there now, then the crime rate go up. Then my own plane, I can't hang my clone in land. Because when I hang my clone in land, I'll put my shoe on top of the Z, somebody take it from there. What I'm trying to say though? But that's where I'm coming from. It's like it's like
sorry, Mr. Nangwe, for jumping in. No, but the fact is that you're saying that individuals, you, me, Mr. Nangwe, Mr. Tao, should do the government job, right? One minute, because I reclaim my land, and then people start stealing, I should be worried about that when I want my land. But that's not my concern. It's the government I brought concern to make people to not steal. That's the job of the government, to police, to protect.
It
And what's the
is.
constitutional thing? Protect and defend the Constitution. I have a right as a Liberian citizen to live peacefully. It's the government's job to protect and defend my right.
Yes, and
So
you pay
if I
taxes
want to
to
claim
protect
my
them.
land back, yes,
Yeah.
if I want to, just let you hear, you spend 10 years. Do you know how much money you expended just to get the court to say, yes, Mr. Pardon, go get, just to say, get your land at 10 years? Then they tell you, say, and some people listening now, and again, this is a complex situation.
It
Some
is.
people
It is.
listening now will say, look, you're not happy. But if Mr. Padma were there for 10 years, he spent 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 14,000. What's his 1 year? That's what some people will say. But we are
Awesome.
private citizens. We are not governor of Liberia, right? It's
So
my
let me ask you
land.
a question.
I
Let
want
me
it
ask you a
back.
question before I move on to Mr. Namuli. So when the court issue its verdict, right? Say, look, we have agreed, judgment has been passed. This is Dr. Budi's land, okay? And we are going to issue, the order to have these people evicted from the land, right? And the court issued that order. That order not going to into effect tomorrow morning. No. There's a line. You gotta get on the line. If the court get 100 eviction, you will wait when they finish with the 99 before they get to you. So there is a process to it. You can't get there and say, oh, I waited 10 years. Why you do it right now? There's a process. But I'm just saying, I'm looking for the human point of view.
Yeah, but your argument is, if I get it right now, it makes sense to me, right? Your argument is, whilst I'm in line, the
Yes.
government will do something.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
So, no, because my point, I misunderstood you, because my thing was, I ready to go. My lantern and reach. They say number 100. Then you say, oh, I'm gonna wait for extra year from the time they call my number.
You got no.
Okay. No, then I'm fine. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, the government get time to take action. Okay. And what is that action? Prevent displacement. Government get land. Oh, you got my back, the government get land. You got brother, the government get land. You got the government get land. Government get land all over the place. Systematically take the people from one area, right? Identify them, list them properly per family, how many number of family, all that thing. And then you sit with these people and say, look, you have been squatters. How about we make you homeowners? From squatters to homeowners. We saw what the community you're able to build here by being squatters on somebody's land. You already have the idea. All you need is the opportunity. We'll carry my Barclay. All 5,000 you will carry my Barclay. We'll get each one of y'all a plot of land. It's not free. You will pay for it, but you pay for it over 20 years. Government has the propensity to wait 20 years to get their money. Small. We will work with home building stores, right? We'll give them some little incentive so that through us, they can issue you vouchers. Your zine, your plank, your zine there, we're not giving you money. We're not going to hand you cash because we don't know what you're going to do with the cash. But if we can give you a piece of land and we can give you a voucher that you can carry to certain building material store and get certain building material and put something down and start working on it, now you have your own land. Now you have a stake in the ground. Can you imagine? I mean, look at the opportunity we have. And then we're not just going to give you something to go build. The people carry you to go build, right? We will line the street up. We will demify it. We will go through all of that demification of it so that it is listed. Now we can start to create an address system. We can, right? Because now we'll number all the houses. We got address system right there. We'll name the streets. I mean, opportunity. But what they say, now wait, the boss said, the papa said, go on, creating no more new land.
Yeah. And you know what, Michael? I mean, I think you're helping the government out. These are some of the things that, a lot of us thought the government would be saying or doing. And Dr. Budi, you asked about waiting 1 year. Michael can't wait 1 year. I went to South Africa and bought new land. You know what? You can't wait for the full tomorrow. You can't wait for tomorrow to leave land. So now everybody can go to South Africa and buy more land. But look, seriously though, and I would channel the letter that Musa Hassan Belete wrote. He writes these regular letters on Sundays from Saclay Pier. He dealt, extensively with this issue, and the argument he's making is the law is a law. It's a very difficult and delicate issue. You cannot be seen to violate a ruling from the court. When the court rules, the law is the law.
Yes.
But then, like Michael is saying, you have to find the humanity in this problem and try to exercise that. And this is the disappointment some of us are experiencing with this president. He's supposed to be a wise old man. But sometimes, he acts in ways as if humanity has completely deserted him. I mean, look at the statement he made about, the Donald Trump statement he made about, you think you're over there, you think you're enjoying Donald Trump coming for you. I really think what he meant was, or what I hope he meant was, look, if they don't appreciate you over there with all the talent and the taxes and everything you're paying, there's nowhere better than home. Your can home. We always here will see you. If he has said that, and I believe that's what he meant. But the way he said it, you think you're enjoying over there, but Donald Trump coming for you. And look at this thing he just said. God can make new land. What is that? Is that supposed to console anybody who is grieving in the street right now? God can make new land. That is cheek.
Yeah.
That's being cheeky.
Yeah.
And as a president, you're the father of the land. You are the consoler in chief. People cry on your shoulder. You offer your shoulder for people to cry on it. You help people, find the humanity in this thing.
Yeah,
I agree. The problem they're dealing with, some of it predates them,
Yes.
and most ability is making an argument. This is the failure of successive governments to find low-cost housing opportunities for our citizenry. It is a problem. But you just said something, alluded to something, making lemonade out of lemon. We have a congestion problem in Monrovia. This could be an opportunity for him to shift some of the people out of Monrovia, and relocate and help them. And you could work out something, the land already, give me a few months or whatever it is. I'm trying to work with you here.
Yeah.
I think that would have been more appreciated.
Nobody will argue that.
Yeah.
Nobody will argue that.
Nobody will argue that, but he's standing there and said the people will take their land,
And who tell them? AFL. What is AFL doing 77?
What is it they're doing right now that they need land so badly? What is the rush? What is the rush? But he stands over there and he's talking about God doesn't make new land. Like we don't know that. We already know that, Mr. President. Tell us something we already don't know. So I'm flabbergasted. Sometimes I watch the old man perform and I'm saying to myself, wow, this is really the guy who is making decisions for us in the executive mansion. This is the attitude. When they put a problem before him, the first attitude is to check it up,
Check it out.
Before he go find a solution. Where he in a hurry to check it up. But look, a lot of people are suffering. The economy is bad, and the president knows that. I mean, the people are suffering. This is supposed to be the least, they have to deal with. Help them, take this off their shoulders, Mr. President. And it's not late yet. I think Ministry of Information, I heard something about some kind of meeting that is being planned. I hope I read it right, but I think they are having a second thought about this. I think they said they didn't authorize eviction or whatever, something. But hopefully, they're beginning to find the humanity in this thing. It just looks really bad. People can't find it to eat, and now the things are in the streets. Some of these people, they depend on these things for their livelihood. There are a lot of things that not. One of the ladies were crying. I think kids were in school, and it's just really crazy.
It is.
So, I'll appeal to Mr. President. Mr. President, sometimes, and I know you have a lot of time to think about these things, but you're the father of the land. You have to always find the good in all of these things. There is always a good side to every situation, and that's why you should exploit. I'm not saying you should violate the law or whatever.
No, absolutely not. Nobody's calling. Like I said, for me, I have been, I'm a landowner. I believe in real estate. That one of the things I believe in really, really hard. I don't believe money in the bank. I'm not a believer of that. I believe in real estate. If you get extra money, you want to do something where you want to put it somewhere, and you're not investing it right now, you put it in real estate. I believe in that strongly. I'm one of those people, God help me, I haven't been involved in any kind of legal battle back and forth before. We gotta try to be smart about how to do things. But you know, it's there. Let's stop seeing problem. Let's see opportunity.
Yeah.
This is the beginning of transforming Monrovia, Liberia, where we start to take these people and put them in designated areas systematically and make them owners. If that man can develop that land, somebody else's land, just think about when that he own land, right? His children and his children will inherit. How you think he would take care of his community? How he would take care of his community? You know, make sure it's watch out, make sure it's clean. Man, look, there's so much opportunity here, man, that we can do stuff with. Okay, but
Magnus will baking the committee. They already planted a new ministry to aging.
Magnus can say, "We're not making any more ministry. We're only making."
Don't mind Magnus. Don't mind the comments, man, Magnus. Don't mind that ANC people. Don't mind. They be trolling people out. Man, go sit down somewhere, man, Magnus.
No, what's the guy from Youth and Sports? Ko
Bangalu. No, in our Youth and Sports again. This ain't the elder Brazil.
So that his job now. It's like he the one that's supposed to relocate, rehabilitate.
That's right. Internally displaced, right?
Yes, that's his job now. You know, put a plan together, care to the president and say, look, presidential project, right here. Let's go.
Where you gotta go see BJ? You gotta
go
see BJ now. Not the president. You gotta go see BJ first. BJ, first project.
All right. So, Mr. Tao. So here we have, man. You know, look, I feel for homeowners, for landowners. I know what it is. I know how frustrating it is. Because the thing is, when you go down and say try to talk to the people, get to explain to them that, oh, my people, they play on my land. Let's see how we can move y'all. The chick they'll get more than the president will not teach, you know? And then you go to court. When you go to court, every day, go come back. You gotta pay lawyer, you pay the clerk, you pay the bailiff, you pay everybody. You gotta be paying. When they say, they'll say, we need to make photocopy. Then everybody tend to you. You bring a case, that you don't want to attend to. When they say, y'all go bring the men across the problem, you gotta buy gas for the police or the sheriff.
You're right. You're not making it up.
If you buy it, your case will stop ready.
Yeah.
So these people go through these things year after year. Multiple being in this thing after now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before they can finally get judgment. And when they get judgment, just like our brother that were housing the CDC, they have become so bitter because of what they have had to go through for their own land business. That at that point, the Abajai Ray, they get no sorry how again. And we see things like this. What do you think? How do you think government should respond to this? And what do you think about the president?
I look at this a little bit differently. The law, when it comes to this, it should actually be enforced.
Yeah.
The government have a lot of hand in a lot of things that go. You see what we're discussing about 72nd? It is happening right now as we speak. Yes, the government is supposed to be able to come in and assist in any way, right? Based on the condition. But if the government go ahead and take money and settle people in 72nd tomorrow, there will be somebody building in Tody. There will be a bunch of people encroaching on Tody. Then they got to build. There will be a bunch of people encroaching on Rawafield. They will have what the problem that we're having here is that the system is not working. If the system was working, these things would really be minimized. Do you know how long, even as far as Ellen Johnson said, I'll give you two scenarios. Let's leave the public land first. I have some land in Marshall. I got the land. It's a good bit of land. And I made sure that I bought, because of this thing, I bought it right on the road and it's straight back into the swamp and it's covered like most of the front to where I bought it. Then I made sure that there were alley there because my uncle was one of the top surveyor, Mr. Kavia. So we went into the archive, we saw the people Mother D, we sat down with the administrator, we saw everything, we saw where the alleys were, where the cross, and that is how I bought the land, right?
Yeah.
So what I did first was I just put cornerstone. About A year later, I get a call. There are two cornerstones in my land. The alley that is on the right side of the land was sold. This is where I say the government have a lot of part to play. The same government issued deed for this alley. So you see the system is not working. Why will you issue deed for this alley when you have the whole map and you can see that this place is an alley? So the next thing I know, somebody from Ministry of Public Works that bought land behind me far back, they put a road in my land. Because why? The town people told them that the alley is here, is not where that person is building a house because they already sold the alley. So I got the news. My team went there, informed them. And then about maybe 8 or 9 months later, I flew and I went down. I brought my deed. I brought a copy of the mother deed because I had a copy of it. And I brought it and I showed them my deed. That house that is being built. And we informed the lady that was building that house. She works in the government. As they were digging, we contacted her. I spoke to her myself. I said, you are building the alley. The time will come, they will have to break that house down. She said, oh, they told me that all this stuff, they went and planted the cornerstone about 5 feet or so into my land. So I came, I made them remove it. I went to Public Works, met with the lady that is responsible for zoning, Josiah Tabla. She's now some big person because she's from Lo-Fi. She's some big person in the government. No, I communicated with her like maybe a couple of months ago. So I brought my deed. They saw everything because then they said everybody need to come. And then they saw. So I informed the people in the back that a time will come. I said, for right now, I'm not using the land. But just know this is not alley. The time will come, you're not going to be able to get back there. You will have to be able to deal with the problem in our alley. They say, oh, so I went ahead. I decided to first put like a 2-foot fence. You know what they did? They came and they broke the fence down. And they started driving in it. I want to talk. They started making all kinds of threats to my team. So I went back there. And so what I did, I didn't need to spend that kind of money. I just spent $35,000 in the last 2 months, November and December, fencing that whole land. Money that I didn't even have to spend because of the kind of stuff that was going on. But these are the problems. So if the law is not enforced, it has to be enforced somewhere. Now the one that the government is supposed to do, public housing and stuff, that's a whole different ball game. But if these things are not enforced, people continue to do it. So what happened? I closed the place up. Now, then the lady, now they're fighting. Now they roll, now they put it, now it passed right in front of her porch that if she step out, she's going to step on the road.
You see that?
I had another one in Buchanan, almost 70 acres on Buchanan Road Highway. After St. John, it's straight into some village. I bought that place. I paid for it cash. They took that land, a guy that worked at Lands and Mines. You know Decounty Village?
No.
Decounty Village is when you go into Buchanan, the guy that owned it, you're working at Lands and Mines. He saw me put pillows that are almost 7 feet tall. He came into my land and bought 4 acres in my land. Another lady that worked in the government came in and bought another 5 acres in my 70 acres. When my people went there now for them to be able to plant pillars all the way, they brought people from the village, they came, they almost killed some of my workers. I was tied up in court for 2 years. I had to resurvey, spend all kinds of money.
Yeah.
I had to pay land authority, pay the resident or surveyor, pay the judge, pay everybody will have to be on site. They have to bring armed men. They did a resurvey. I paid all kinds of money. And now I was able to pretty much, because that land is too big, I can't fence it, but I put pillars about every 10 feet cost me almost $20,000 all around the land. So these are the things that we're talking about. So it must be enforced. Now, how the government go about doing that to create housing for people, because people know this. And even when they're told, they still refuse.
Still do, yeah.
So the lands and mine guy now try to come to me. If I say, man, get your cornerstones out of there. I told the people he need to get. So they pretty much supervising and uprooted everything and they took it out of there. I spent all this money for no reason because why? People just don't listen. It's not just the way
government needs to enforce. Basically, that's what you're saying.
Government, look at what happened when they sell up LRA, right? I thought what LRA was going to actually do was to create a digital system and then zero out all of the land. So that way, if you come in and you want to buy land somewhere, or if this thing is already set up, I saw the whole map of Liberia, where all the land are already labeled. All it does. So why is the same government issuing deed for land that is already sold and the deed is in the archive? Then they started telling me, bring your deed. So I had to bring my deed again all over. Then they had to check to see which one the deed was before the other deed. That's still supposed to be found out right when the other person is supposed to register the land or get the stuff.
Absolutely.
So the government play a lot of part in this.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Now that is that aspect. When it comes to public land and the government, if the government make the economy work, every government, no matter which type of government, have to create some kind of affordable housing and stuff for its citizens. If they don't, people don't have to be getting evicted before that happens. But that is a progressive government. But then how would they buy that $45,000 car? How would they set up the committee for yellow machine? How would they get the agricultural break? You see that? So they don't care. So the government's supposed to be able to do that anyway. People don't have to get evicted before they do that. That is a progressive government that is trying to make sure that the citizens have the basic right of shelter. Right? But this is something that I pick up because I follow the 72nd stuff.
All right, quickly, yeah.
There are people that are in there that said that they've been over there from the 70s before AFL came there in 83. And they have deed for their land or they're leasing the land from people who already have deed. And from what they're saying that the AF and the court said they don't want to see the army, they're going to come and say that the army told them, how can we be army people and we behind and you'll be in front of us? We have to have access to the main road. So they just came and put fence. That part, when I heard the president speak, because this stuff was all over the place, focus on Liberia carry it,
yes,
on TV carry it. So you would think that then the president would make a better statement to say, look, if the land belongs to AFL, they should claim it, but we must first check to see that they're not claiming land that belongs to people.
Yeah.
He didn't say that. He just said, God not making any new land. For me, that is the problem. So because I don't want for government to just come and start claiming land that don't belong to them because they feel they can do it and nothing come out of it. So what I will advise the government, and I know the government will listen to me because I'm not CMC, they don't see me as a competitor, that they need to listen to the people. Was there a court order? I don't know, because everybody that getting evicted said there was no court order. I don't know if they issued a long time ago, but there was nothing, because the AFL itself can't just come and start barricading the place. There have to be court order. They have to serve these people some kind of notice. All this stuff supposed to take place. And then if the people have their D and stuff that is ordered in AFL, let it come to the court. Let the court look at it. Instead of trying to call some guy on Facebook that he should come and answer a question, these are the things that the court's supposed to be interested in. Displacement of the citizens and making them homeless. So for me, that is the area I look at. But look, this thing needs to stop. Our people, we need to listen. If you are going to build a house somewhere and somebody start informing you that somebody owns this land, don't force it. Before I close, behind upon a church over there, they have a place that they call ABC. It was an organization here in the US. They bought like about 350 acres or so of land out there. But then it was in dispute. So it went to court. The time people said that they bought it from the wrong people, that was not the administrator, so it's in limbo. So I got it, one of my own picking. He not joining, they're selling land. So I said, my man, one land and somewhere. He said, oh, come on. So he brought me. I see the big old land. So I said, my man, land business hard. I'm going to the bush. I can't even find land right here. How is the land right here? He said, oh, then I look. I said, but I see cornerstone. He said, oh, don't worry about it. That land, they don't own the in court. I said, you gotta be stupid. I said, you tried again, I'll punch in your mouth, you my own piggy. Yeah, I said, what is wrong with you? So, but you see, a lot of people, when I want to listen, they will just buy it.
Yeah.
Build a house.
Mm-hmm.
Because I left and I walked all the way up the hill and I went and saw a house that I spoke to it. He said, logo, this land is in dispute. Don't, if you buy here, I said, no, I'm not buying it. I'm just trying to, I said, if you buy here, it's going to be, you're going to be tied up in the case.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will hear this. I know a lot of people, most of us here in the US, they will still hear this and buy the land and build their house. Then when they come break it down, then they say government should resettle them. I understand the people that were displaced and Jack came in that was fighting, that's something else. But a lot of the stuff here is that just what look is happening. So the government need to take steps, put things in place, stop issuing double and triple D. Then when the thing go to court, then you start saying, bring your own deed. No, we don't want that nonsense. Okay? You know that Open said he lost, he had 15 acres where he built that place. He lost almost, I think, 7 or 8 or 10 acres of it.
Mm-hmm.
While he was in Europe.
Yeah.
He was built there, right there. I went and I saw the place.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Mr. Palmer, can I have 10 seconds, please? You know, because as someone who did a whole PhD in land grabbing, I didn't know I had an enemy on the panel with me here because this man is a land grabber. Because he 50 acres here, 60 acres there, 30 acres. Like, why you won't carry all the land in, my brother?
What happened? What wrong here?
No, he's grabbing. You don't need that much land. You don't need that much land as an individual. No. How much land Mr. Tao can use for his upkeep and his people in Grand Bassa County? No. People in Grand Bassa County, they're looking for land to farm, and they may taking all the land because he can afford to buy it. And then he put pillows everywhere. And then somebody just take 4 acres of the land. He said they will move the land on a pillow from there. Why?
I agree.
And you keep telling us that we need to change the system. You're like, bro, but you're a capitalist in chief.
Okay. No. Don't try the other one. Don't try the other part. Don't try the other part.
No. Do you even know what I'm doing on the land?
But you capitalist in chief. Yes, you are. Okay, so let's we have about 10 minutes. We have about 10 minutes, so I want for us to touch on this. I think a lot of people taking this lightly, but I think it's going to have far-reaching effects if it actually goes onto the docket, and becomes a precedent. Few days ago, the Honorable Supreme Court summoned or cited a Facebook individual to appear before them to answer why he should not be held in contempt for hurling invectives at them. And they believe that has injured the reputation of the court and its justices. We have this strong argument about freedom of speech. We have this strong argument about the counter argument that yes, you get you have the freedom to speak, but at the same time you have to be held responsible for what you say. So I want to hear from you guys. I don't want to wait too much. I want to hear you guys' thought. Now I'll go with you first because the other people went first.
Michael, I'll be honest. Look, people like Prophet Key, they got no place in our political space. Mm-hmm. I don't see what value he brings to the political space. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of his delivery. I honestly, I don't listen to him at all. Mm-hmm. I think this time the Supreme Court, there are arguments they may be overreaching, but I think they got their onto. I think they have a point here. Free speech comes with responsibility. You can just get up and say anything you want to say without any proof. And I think this man has been maligning a lot of people. I don't think he has proof for some of what he's saying. And he's vulgar. His man is, his expression is totally unacceptable. And unfortunately, he's a role model. A lot of young people follow him and listen to him. I think he's doing a lot of damage to the political space. So if this will be the beginning of all of us paying attention to what and how we say what we say, I think I'm all for it. I think the Supreme Court I think they should rein him in. He needs to find a better way to express himself or let him quit the stage if he's incapable of structuring a full sentence that doesn't have any curse word in it. I think he can continue to say what he wants to say. But
Okay.
you know, the kind of vulgarity this guy is spewing, I mean, and he has no boundaries. His expression no bounds. Women, men, you know, he's just officials, government. Look, whether we like it or not, if a president occupies an office, you don't have to like them. You got to respect the office they occupy. If the president occupies the presidency, you have to give him the respect he deserves. The Chief Justice, you know, you can't just get on and say what you want to say about them. And so I hope, you know, I'm hearing other people are saying, you know, he's prepared to apologize. And all that. I hope he will. And when he does, I hope he will claim his claptrap and watch what he says.
Okay.
You know?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Nangwe. Mr. Tower, I'll come to you. There are two things I want to point out before I let you go. The first one is that this gentleman did not start this thing here yesterday.
No.
He's been doing it for many years. There was even a time during the Lofa Kante election recently. You got not Lofa, Nima Kante election.
Nima Kante,
quite recently for this man's seat. What his name?
Prince Johnson.
Was
Prince
it
Johnson? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This gentleman was hauled into court for similar things.
Yeah.
Right? He was arrested. The vice president of Liberia went and freed him from jail.
Not only that, put him on his team to go and campaign.
Yeah, into Nima to campaign for his person. Now, the chicken has come home to roost. Now he is being hauled. Okay?
Did he do it on a child stealer?
Huh?
Did he do it on a child stealer?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking. You say he's been doing it a long time, so I thought it went that far back.
No. Since I would say 2017.
Yeah, so let me just ask, you don't have to say the word because I didn't follow this, but what did he actually say? Did he insult an actual individual on the bench, or did he accuse the entire court?
The Chief Justice.
He insulted the Chief Justice.
The Chief Justice.
He insulted the Chief Justice.
Wait. Who? He owned Nima Kwado man. I saw Nima Kwado doing anything so.
Okay,
correct.
So do we have a law on the book for something like this? I'm just trying to just understand before I respond.
So there is the Abdullah, I think it's Abdullah law, basically that decriminalizes speech that was signed to law by President George Weah.
Okay.
That decriminalizes speech. You cannot hold somebody criminal, but you can still hold them civilly. You just can't hold them criminally or for speech.
Okay,
yes.
So why is the Supreme Court calling them when this is a personal matter that the Chief Justice can sue them in a civil court?
Thank you very much.
So that's abuse of power.
Yes,
that's trying to shut
you
out.
Let me ask you, what would be the mechanic? What could the Chief Justice will go to? Where he will go to?
The Chief Justice as an individual. The Chief Justice as an individual. The lawyer. Okay. The lawyer can represent them and they can sue that person.
Yes.
That is the procedure. But let me say something here.
But what is wrong with he insulted the Chief Justice of the Supreme? What is wrong with inviting him to the Supreme Court?
So who is going to head that? Who's going to head that?
But there's going to be a full bench. It's not just the Chief Justice.
But you don't have problem with the Supreme Court. You have problem with an individual. So are you telling me that if somebody in the Chief Justice they get into something outside, or for certain, they can't go to a regular court?
No. If you attack Yemi Gbese, the person, that's different. But when you attack the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, you're attacking the entire court.
The Chief Justice is an individual. No, the Chief Justice is an individual.
The Chief Justice is the head of the Supreme Court.
Is a public citizen, just like anybody else.
No, I disagree with you.
Yes.
Let me finish.
Okay, but look, let me on this end. Look at what is happening here. You made a statement that yes, we don't have to respect the person, but we have to respect the office. That office is a non-living thing. What gave that office its credential and everything is that person? If that person is dumb, that office should not cover them or protect them. If that person is corrupt, they can't have them because these are where the corrupt stuff are coming in. Where is the Supreme Court when Yeka Koluba open your mouth and everything he says is curse? Terrible all over the place. Where is the Supreme Court when the guys are cursing or in the house, people that are supposed to make law? So look at what happened
So
here.
the Supreme Court is not going to go out and find cases, Jota. I'm sure you know.
Yeah,
that.
but that is the same thing.
So that's the Chief Justice of the Supreme
that is
Court.
the point I'm making. That is the point I'm making.
I mean,
This stuff is an individual stuff. The Supreme Court, Trump was just they call his name Trevor Noah at the Grammy.
Mhm.
What did he do? Threatened to sue him in a regular court.
Yeah.
Okay, the Justice Department did not get involved to come and know that Trump is the president, but if they deal with him as an individual, now if it have to do with the U.S. government, that is different. It has nothing to do with the Supreme Court.
You know, you might have a point there about suing in a lower court,
So,
but my point is there have to be consequences for what he does and says. I mean,
so the Chief Justice themselves, you know why the Chief Justice is not suing him in a regular court? Because they have no real case and they're trying to intimidate. If our Prophet Key, if you're listening to me, Prophet Key, don't go there. Nothing they can do to him. If they try to send people to, I'm not saying Prophet Key is right. I'm not saying he's right. I don't know him. But we have to follow the process and the procedure. Because all of a sudden somebody says something about Mr. Boyka, that he did something, the next thing you know the whole Liberian government arrests. No, sue him as an individual. Now, if they threaten the Liberian government, then that's something else. Or if they threaten the life of the president, but if there is an accusation or there is just a statement made, the president is still a private or just a regular citizen. Okay, so sue that person. So the court themselves don't understand. But look, yes, people have to be able to operate in a way that makes sense, right? We don't need, and the reason we have this kind of people in our political space is because after the war, it created a void. So you have all kinds of people. Tell me, other than Prophet Key insulting the Chief Justice, saying something, look at more than half of the people in our government. Very incompetent. They can't even discuss anything. They curse. They beat people up. They slap people in broad daylight. They do all of this stuff. They didn't say they're not even qualified. Okay? So look, if the Chief Justice listen, what is the Chief Justice now? No sending you is not there anymore. Follow your own law. You are just an individual. Don't pull the Supreme Court into this particular stuff. He didn't say anything. He's not a government worker. He's not in contempt or anything about violating something. He addressed you
for bringing this dispute to the Supreme Court. Is not contemptuous?
No.
For bringing this dispute to the Supreme Court.
No, not to the individual. Let them sue.
Now I keep telling you, he said the Chief Justice. He's cursing out the Chief Justice. He's not cursing out
the Chief Justice should sue him. My brother, where were you now? Upon was insulted. His mom was insulted by Yeke Kolba all this time. Did you see Upon felt that it was something he's not going to bring the whole U.S. Liberian government. He will sue him in regular court for defamation. The process is then the courts that are.
Let me highlight what my friend brother is saying here. That will read that, please.
If they have to do with the court, if they have to do with the institution.
What is contempt?
What is contempt? The contempt, if they have to do with the institution, but not an individual.
The Supreme Court, the Supreme Court, the Constitution is very clear on what the legislature can hold you on contempt for. You have to inhibit the ability, right, to carry out their function. That is what you can hold people in contempt for. You can't just hold people in contempt because you feel hurt your little ego.
Yeah, but why the message is stressed out? You can't go to court.
Because he know that the power being abused. He know that power is being abused.
Let me go to Dr. Budi here. Dr. Budi, here's my issue. My issue is the Honorable Supreme Court now is summoning this guy before the full bench, and according to the letter that was read, okay, they accuse this gentleman of not just hurling invectives at.
No, Michael, and now I'm glad you brought that out. The court is asking him to come and show cause.
Yes.
Why he should not be held in contempt. Exactly. So they are not saying that he's contemptuous yet.
That How they can, when they want to arrest you, how they can do? They can't arrest you. They can say, "Come, come show cause." When you come here and you show cause, where you have no arrest you from? We're not gonna look for you again. How they okay? But here's my issue. Dr. Booty.
But let our competent man. Let's go argue for him.
No, here's my issue. No, actually, if that man did not have access to a lawyer, you know, I'll be one of those people that will volunteer so that we can get him. No, it's not about this dude. Let's be honest here, right? This dude is, let me not say things about other people, but let's say he is not the person we look to, right? When we want to have conversations seriously about certain things. But it's about you see, when you set that kind of precedent, then it becomes far-reaching. Because then who gets to interpret what is an evictive and what is not? Who gets to interpret? And here's why I'm coming to Dr. Booty. Dr. Booty, obviously, the victim here, the person that is claiming to being victim is the Honorable Supreme Court. The person that is actually playing the role of prosecutor is the Honorable Supreme Court. The person that is going to be playing the role of judge is the Honorable Supreme Court. I mean, like, if you are claiming to be a victim and you are going to be the judge, how can anybody hope to actually have a free and fair shot or free and fair or trial concerning this? And if we can set this up where the Supreme Court or bodies that have contempt powers, okay, do not begin to overreach based on this.
Well, is one of my pastimes is watching legal dramas, and I love the law, and I try to get a good understanding of it. In my experience, when court holds someone in contempt, is because the person is doing something that inhibits their ability to function. So, for example, you're a student in front of a judge, and the judge is trying to speak, and you're interrupting the judge, right? So you're preventing the judge from being able to function, right? So then the judge will say, look, if you don't stop, then I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. If you ask to come to court because Mr. Nangbe, for example, sues me in court, the court sends me a letter that says, look, Mr. Nangbe has brought a case before us, you have to appear this time. If I don't show up, again, I'm inhibiting, the court is unable to do its job if I don't do what I've been asked to do. That is my experience, right? And that's like they being disrespectful to the court, because when the court calls you, you should turn up, right? Now, my question that I will start with before I make my opinion is, I don't know, like Mr. Tao, the exact insults, right? But let's say he calls the Supreme Court, what's his name, Chief Justice's mom, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say he calls him ma, right? Mm-hmm. How does calling him ma prevent the court from doing its job?
Exactly.
Right. So it costs the man. You say your man this, your man that. But how does that stop the Supreme Court from doing its job? Mm-hmm. Let's say, for example, he said, "Oh, the Chief Justice stupid, man." You know, again, how does that stop the Supreme Court from interpreting the Constitution, right? Which is their job. Their job is to interpret the Constitution. How does telling the Chief Justice that you're stupid, right, stops the court from doing its job? Mm-hmm. Right? How does this guy going on a platform and saying that, oh, these people are inept, right? Right? They didn't know what they're doing, right? Again, how does that stop them from doing their job? Because that's, for me, is the standard that you should be using here. Or are his actions or his words making it difficult for the court to be able to do its functions?
Yes. He is alleging that the court is influenced. The man is clear on the tape. You should listen to it. He said they take money on for cases. He said all of that on the tape.
Do you believe that? I
don't believe it, but that's why he's doing.
If it is not believable, then it has no
other people might believe it. They ain't show where to do the money.
We'll come back to you. Let Dr. Budi finish.
And obviously, if that's what he said, then that Mr. Nangwe, again, one minute, Mr. Nangwe. Like I said, and I quantify my opinion or my questions by saying, look, like Mr. Tao, I don't know the exact words that came out of this guy's mouth. If you're saying to me that he said that the Supreme Court, because again, when Mr. Patmo presented the conversation, it was the Chief Justice, not the court, right? If he said that the Chief Justice is taking bribe, right? He is accusing an individual, one person on the court, not the entire court. That person's reputation, yes, might be injured. That person has a right to go to a civil court to say, look, Mr. Budi or Mr. whoever his name is has said that I took money to influence a case, right? That has injured my reputation. So he needs to bring proof. If he can't prove on the balance of probability, because that's the civil standard, if he can't prove on the balance of probability that I did take a bribe, then the court will have to take an action against him. Again, civil court, because he said that one individual on the bench took money to influence a case. He did not say that the Supreme Court takes money to influence cases based on what you just said. He said one individual. So that individual, like Mr. Tao said, has a right to go to a civil court to say, look, that's defamation, right? Defamation is a civil, it's not a criminal accusation or matter. It's a civil matter. Go to the civil court and say, this man has defamed me, this individual, and I want this man to prove in this court. And if he cannot prove in that court that this individual did what he accused him of doing, that individual will be awarded damages, right? Because the Chief Justice will say, look, they think the man said it will cost me future earnings of X millions or whatever,
He has to
and
prove.
you have to,
He has to prove.
yeah,
He has to prove that it will cause him. It will cause the injury.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
But my point is to agree with Mr. Tower here that look, this is not something that the court should be involved in. This is not an issue of him preventing the court from doing his job. He's accused an individual, and that individual can only address that matter in civil court.
Let me ask you a question because we're running out of time here, and then I'll go to Mr. Nangwe. Let me ask you. So one of the things I learned from my Oma, right, with parenting, she told me this. She said, son. I said, yeah, man. She said, never put yourself in a corner where you can't get out of. Yes, right? Because I'm trying to raise young men. She said, if your son disobeys you, don't put him under the horse. If you don't, he get nowhere to go. Because you'll be the same person to wear shoe to go look for him. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? My question to you is the Honorable Supreme Court prepared to call before then every single person that says something bad about them?
No,
but the thing is, that means no, Mr. Nangwe, they say for me. That question for me. Hold your hand before I hold you in contempt. No. The point is, if that is the case, then some of us will have to go before the Supreme Court, because this same Supreme Court I have criticized, not just verbally, but in some of my writings in newspapers in Liberia, to say, look, the way that they acted when they came up with this issue of, oh my God, when, the virus they brought here, the ultra virus and stuff. Some of us accused the court of being incapable of delivering what the Liberian people say, and that wasn't an individual. We accused the whole court, right? Like I did on here and in writing, right? So if that is the case, then all of us who are political commentators will be brought before the Supreme Court for contempt, right? Whether we can cause man, whether we can cause man is irrelevant, because because again, people have to understand, right? And this is the thing about politics, right? People have to understand that a lot of the things that we say as political commentators are opinions.
Yes.
Right? A lot of the things we say are opinions, which is why they pass the law that you can't criminalize someone because of something they say. Most of us are expressing an opinion or our opinion on matters of concern. So if you're coming after us because of opinion, then nobody will be able to say anything ever again. So no, I don't believe that the court should do it. I think the Chief Justice is within his right, and I think he should.
Michael,
If he's listening to me, 1 minute, Mr. Nangwe. If the Chief Justice is listening to me, he must take Prophet Key to court, in a civil court, and let Prophet Key go prove that he took money to influence a case.
Thank you.
And then he can prove as Chief Justice how much that injury will cost him going forward, if there is any injury, and then set an example so that people got to be careful. Because again, the fact that we share opinions don't mean we don't have to be careful what opinions we're sharing. We have to make sure that these opinions are not just based in fallacies. So that would be the step that I will advise him.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mike, I have a caller. I have a caller. This is he wrote something in the comment section here.
Yeah.
So he's on the phone. He called Jerome and Jerome
Kase?
called him to call me.
Yeah,
Arthur,
yeah.
go ahead. You're live.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes.
You get me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I appreciate you guys to come on the radio to educate Liberian people. A lot of people listen to you. I believe before you come with a topic, you have made a sufficient research on it to speak on it. You guys said something which, of course, you guys cannot prove it. I just want to give you some information. I don't support for key, and I don't even like it where he can address himself, carry himself. That is very bad. But people say something which are not actually accurate.
Which one?
That if VP free him and put in his team to go to Nima, that was not true. That was two different things you're talking about. Julie Andy, the one who felt insulted and carrying.
No, but this is a different case. We're talking about during the election.
Go ahead.
It was a Muslim who spoke against the Muslim. The Muslim don't have power with him. And they put an issue on the VP. VP apologized to the Muslim people. He said he did not know about it. He had no knowledge about it. He made it clear to them. He just came to the program. Nobody invited him. I know time that if you free him from any court, make a research. We speak to the public, make a research on that. I know one thing I want to call out Judy Andy case.
And what happened at the Judy Andy case?
So when you speak to the public, make a research on it.
There's a question for you. I thought they said, what happened to the Julie Andy case?
The president advisor was
legal advisor. Yes.
Free him. He said that there is a right to do that. I think that to that something. So you have a right to speak your mind.
And do you think that is right, Arthur, for the legal advisor to call the court and tell them to free somebody who has been sued?
I do support that.
Okay.
I don't support it. I don't say you got what I said right now to show that.
Okay.
VP free him and putting which are not right information.
All right.
I want to clear to you guys.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
All right, no problem.
All right.
So he's right. What he's talking about was during the campaign, he made some disparaging remarks about Musa ability and the Mandingo people. But he's also wrong that he was on the VP team. I know that for sure. He was. He said some very disparaging things about Mandingo people. A lot of people thought.
It's a sprinkle.
Yeah, but just to address this comment that how you call him, Magnus is making. Yes, I've just been doing some research. Because again, if you look at in their private capacity, again, because this guy is accusing him as an individual. So in his capacity as an individual, because he's saying this man is using his position to influence cases, right? That's an individual thing. That's a civil matter. So he can go before a judge in a civil court. He will not be, again, the political aspect of it is that, look, that judge might be biased or likely be biased because, hey man, I'm a boss man. If I'm ruling in favor, if that is what you're saying, then yes. But if you're saying that, does he have the legal ability to go to court in civil court? Then yes, he has the legal ability to go to civil court and sue someone in a private. So, for example, Mr. Tawa is a land grabber. If he go grab the Chief Justice land now, the Chief Justice can sue him in civil court so that he can get out his land back, right? He's entitled to sue Mr. Tawa for taking his land. So yes, he can.
Okay.
Look, I want to clarify something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know a lot of people listen to it. I have never in my life bought any land. Every land that I pay for it, and I have land because I'm developing them I'm bringing development to those places. If it is not poultry, it is residential, it is stores for business, and it is clinic, it is schools. So no, I've never grabbed land.
And let me be clear, my people. I want Mr. Tao can go sue me for injury to his person. We're joking.
I know, that is why I just want for other people to hear it.
No, yeah. Because people, no, you're right. Our people will hear what I just said and take it at face value, right? So it's important that we clarify that.
Okay.
So Mr. Nangwe was making a point, right? Yeah.
Mr. Namwe, why don't you go ahead and finish? Okay.
No, I'm done with it. My computer ran out of charge, but I'm done with it. Thank you very much. I just wanted to make that point. He's right in one way, but he's also not entirely right.
All right. So and the point that Magda's made, it's a good point, because the Chief Justice does supervise all courts. So you have to ask yourself, will the court be independent enough, right, to try the case? We hope so. We would like to believe that a judge will feel free enough to try a case, even if it goes against the Chief Justice, and feel that he won't receive any reprimand. So we hope so. But it is a good point. So I had 3 points to make on this, and then we'll go into our closing. Yeah, we have 10 minutes, so we're going to our closing right away, so everybody have enough time. Here was my issue. My 3 issues with a particular thing. The first one was the Supreme Court, yes, being judge, jury, and executioner. I don't think that should be the case. Turn it over to somebody. Recuse yourself. Even if he has said, look, you know what, I'm going to recuse myself from the case, and it will be a beginning. It will be a beginning. I still won't be satisfied, but at least it will be a beginning to the whole thing. And then let somebody as an independent person, right, decide what is an invective. It's very important, because so look, I might say something in my head that's a booty, but now we will laugh, and say, man, I think mean nothing, man, So we can't go on questioning. It has to be clear what is an invective, right, and how has it injured you? How has it brought the court to disrepute, that people will not believe in the court anymore, and all these things? My second issue was, I don't know if you guys listened to this clip of the accused gentleman reading, but the way the Supreme Court addressing, they call her name, they call her known as, and they say address Morella Bureau. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing our country in the 21st century. We get address system.
22nd
address that Morella Bureau. Everybody address Morella Bureau. That you couldn't, to even serve somebody, right? You couldn't even listen address to serve people. That was the second thing that bothered me. The third thing that bothered me was that a grown man was reading a piece of paper. He was reading like a third grade student. That was for us to be at this point, right? I mean, look, it speaks to our educational system that a grown man is reading. He's reading at a third grade level, And I know people, they didn't see all of whatever, but me, that what I saw in it, and it really agreed with me, And it just says that we need to do better, But that's where I'm at. Look, I'll give you guys 3 minutes, to do your closing. We got all 3 things to wrap up. So you hear now that you'll be last. You already fight because you were on that side. Today you'll be the last.
Oh no, yeah. Today, one of the things I wanted to say today, I say every time when you're in the UK, you can go late. Today, if I'm ready for you, you won't go later, no problem, because afternoon for me too. And then today we're finishing soon.
I know, right? All right. Mr. Tao, you go ahead, Chief. You go ahead.
Yeah. Guys, I'm glad to be here, and to our viewers, we appreciate you when you come in, you listen to the show and make comments, and we don't mind if we make a point and you don't agree with it. If you have your comments, you can make it. That's what this is about. We are not a Supreme Court. We are not going to call you. So I want you to know that. But look, the 3 things in this government, I said it here again, that this country is never going to move forward. We have to redo, overhaul, or dismantle the form of governance system that we have. Look, it doesn't matter who you are. You get in there, you're going to be corrupted. The system is designed to corrupt you. And if we are not able to go full scale, there's some key things that we can do. Let us try to make a way. Look, we don't need the legislature, or at least the representative, whatever. One of those branches, or they have to go. Let us do things based on referendum, where the country participate. Then what this will do, the money and stuff that is saved, you can put it into public awareness and training so that the people are aware. You create the infrastructure where they say, how to call it, HPX or Avenue, whatever they're about to sign is one. It is the people who are in this area, that's their land. The government is pretty much conniving with outsiders to come in and to cut open their mountains and destroy their forests. So what happened? Let them have for say. Not some crooks that's sitting. So put it up for referendum. If the government want to bring in 285 machines and for development, lay everything out, show the specifications for this machine and what the cost per unit cost. And let the people make some decisions on it. So at this stage, if the government fail or if it doesn't work, if development, the people have a hand in it. But each time, and one thing I hated, they would say, oh, we all will be blamed for the war. I will always tell them, no, we're not. I didn't have nothing to do with the war. Because I'm saying this to say, we have to make some strategic changes. No matter how much money we raise in our country, no matter we can get even 2 trillion, these guys will find a way to steal. You see what we're saying about the housing? Let's go to agriculture. USAID brought some money in after they set the scheme a bunch of it off. The little that entered Liberia to go to the farmers. Amara Kone became farmer. Ellen Johnson Selly became farmer. Edwin Snow became farmer. They all siphoned off that money. They all became farmers. You hear when they brought money for it to help to build hospitals, to build schools. Prince Johnson owned school. Thomas Farah owned hospital. These are the people that are supposed to help. So here is Prince Johnson. This is why I said that Musa Bello, what he's doing is good. But I hope that they will try to create a system that is self-sustaining, that is not dependent on individual. Prince Johnson built a university, right? Students were dependent. He died. What happened? It closed down. But what happened if this stuff the money was channeled to where it belonged to NIMBA? If they don't depend on no one individual, the university will still be running, probably running better. So we're talking about all the public housing. My brother, try to bring money now and say you're opening public housing. All the lawmakers, they will all have construction company. These guys are taking all this money, and everywhere money is, they follow it. Look at the roads that they're building, the little roads. They all have construction company in those roads. I was in Liberia. When I tried to do some stuff with the port and everything, I'm talking, there was representative senators calling the one for them to sit in the background. So I said, no, I can't do that. Who's going to account for all this money? So you want to say it's X amount of dollars, then I collect this. But then I report this much. Who will account for it when they try to audit me? I say I have to report here and report in the US on my income. So I pull out of it. But this is where we are. So when it comes to the yellow machine and stuff, this is where it is. Planning ministry need to be set back up. So that these things, you don't need no committee. Let planning and development handle it. They're already set up for that. As for breaking down houses, look, it's sad our government don't have to wait till people get evicted. They're supposed to have real social programs for people to have affordable homes already running. You don't have to wait. So that, because people are able to squat at these places because there is nowhere for them to really go. But if you have programs running like that, the Booth said the government have land all over the place, or Mr. Padmore, everybody say here, let them develop those places and make it affordable. You see people move there and it will stop a bunch of these things. We don't have to wait till people are evicted, but people need to be moved from land, whether private or public, because people are very stubborn. Even if they're told that this land belongs to somebody or it belongs to they will still be building there because they're hoping that they will forget about it, or when they come to it, then they say, you have to settle us. On any of my land, do you know why I don't have anybody living there? Because I don't want that. I built a house there. I gave it for $500 Liberian dollars just so that the person can know that they're paying rent. So that when I come to use my land, they don't start telling me that I have to go settle them. Okay. Even if I don't need the money, I do that specifically for that purpose.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Nangme, you go, please.
Thank you, Mike. Look, this is Super Bowl Sunday, so I've done my closing. Welcome to the sis, Dr. Booty. It's good for you to be on this side. Thanks to all those who made contributions to the show, especially my brother Magnus. He did make a lot of good contributions. Thank you all for joining us. Hopefully, I will see you again next Sunday.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Booty?
So because I came to America, they've been punishing me. Problem. Anyway, I disagree with Mr. Tao in terms of setting up the Ministry of Planning and Development. I think we should have a department at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning to handle that, right? Since we decided, because most countries in West Africa moved to this finance and development planning situation. That's why we did it, right? Because it was kind of harmonization. We need to be as equal as we need to kind of be on the same page. So we all have Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. So that there should be a department in there that should collaborate with the Ministry of Public Works. And there has to be, and Mr. Padman and I think a few Sundays ago talked about this. This thing should have started from a point of need. Someone should have gone to the various counties or a group of individuals, assess what the needs of these counties are developmentally, and then determine what machines are needed to meet those development needs. Put in place how we're going to maintain these machines. Put in place how we're going to be accountable for the maintenance of them. Put in place who's going to protect them. Because most of these counties, and Mr. Padmo talked about this a few weeks ago, they don't even have place to keep these things there, right? So you send these machines to these counties. Where are you going to house it? It can rain in our country, you open shower. So before you know, all these things getting rusted, right? Because there's no shelter to protect them. So at the end of the day, it's just an example of a government that does not have a clear understanding in terms of what they want to do. They came to arrest. They're not arresting nothing, right? Because they're just making mistakes after mistakes after mistakes. And every time you raise an issue, oh, we're doing it better than George Weah. George Weah is a very low bar. Even me that said now, you say you ask me now, I can do it better than George Weah, right? It doesn't mean that I'm good at it. It just means that the bar that he set is very low, right? You can't keep comparing yourself to a George Weah. You have to come up with plans to make Liberia better. You came to rescue from George Weah, so you can't be comparing yourself to the thing you came to rescue us from. So look, it's a mistake. It's another opportunity to mismanage our little resources that we have by setting up these various committees. The fact that they want to ship machines back, so who paid for them to come in the first place before you're going to pay for them to ship? It's just a complete mess, and I think the president, again, I always say this, I think he was very selfish to run to be president in the first place, and that decision prevented others, like a Cummings or someone else from getting an opportunity to come in to lead as an alternative to the CDC. And because of that selfish decision to run, when he clearly understood he didn't have the capacity to lead, this is where we are as a country. In terms of evictions, look, I've said my piece on that. I think for private citizens, it's difficult because obviously we do have our lands and we need to protect them because we want to invest in these properties. I think from the government perspective, there is and there should be ways to manage this where you can house these individuals. Again, this is it's like, this government gets opportunities and they always keep missing it. This is an opportunity for the government, right? To say, okay, you know what? We are now going to demonstrate to the people that we're caring, or we're here that because we care about our duties to our country. So we're going to build some low-cost housing and we're going to move these individuals there to be able to showcase to the Liberian people that, okay, at least on this front, we're winning. 390 something promises to only have met 3 of them in 2 years. That is damning, right? On any government. And finally, what I would say with regard to the Supreme Court, I believe, right, if the court did not hold or attempt, or if they are not attempting to hold Prophet Key in contempt of court, this issue will not even be an issue. They are making problems for themselves by trying to hold this man in contempt of court. Because we're talking about it now, right? Prophet Key been causing people money. All right, nobody talk about Prophet Key on point. As soon as the Supreme Court decides to make it an issue, when it's not an issue, now we're talking about it. So they are making problems for themselves. This guy is an irrelevant individual when it comes to the public discourse of the Republic of Liberia. People, and I think we call him on here influencer. He doesn't influence anybody. Right? This is not an influencer. People go there. Most people who listen to Prophet Key listen to him for the comedy, right? The fact that he talks nonsense and they go there and laugh about it. Nobody believes anything that comes out of Prophet Key's mouth. right? So at the end of the day, the Supreme Court is making issues for themselves when there is absolutely no need to do it. If they are just let this guy go about his business, nobody cares, because nobody believes that Prophet Keith has evidence of the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia taking bribe to influence cases. Nobody believes that. Not even the little children on the street asking like, brother, not so go say you ask Zogo then believe that thing. So at the end of the day, the court is making their own issue, and now it's going all around the world. We're talking about it because they have made, they can say, a mountain out of a mole, right? Because Prophet Key is irrelevant. So I would hope that the Supreme Court,
until now, he was irrelevant until now.
Exactly. And thank you for that correction. And I think the Supreme Court, if I was advising the court, withdraw the letter, right? And just talk to this guy privately, Mr. Chief Justice. Like, brother, call him. I mean, yeah, but you can't be saying no kind of thing about me, And that is not an issue to even go to civil court about, right? Just call him on the side and say, my man, stop that thing here. We're not supposed to all call the vice president and say, talk to your brother because y'all know each other, whatever. And how people cannot use their common sense anymore is so baffling, right? Because there was a time. No, my brother, let me send my letter. I don't know whether they will send it to America or to where, because they can look at me or Liberia.
They will send it to Michael Palmer. You will deliver it to him.
So no, and when you go back to Liberia in the 60s and 70s, one of the things I used to appreciate about Liberia when I read history is the fact that when people try to injure each other, I think when you said something bad about somebody or you wanted to, even the eviction and stuff, like most of those things to happen behind closed door conversation. Mr. Nangwe will call Mr. Budi, yeah, my man, yeah, they learn that for you. I'm a land, they need that team, my brother. Say, okay, no problem, you're shaking on it, your move. That was the fabric of our culture, right? And we need to go back to that. We need to go back to talking to each other to solve issues. And the Supreme Court has just made something out of nothing. And they need to do work for the Liberian people and not be wasting their time on this. But look, it's great to be on here today with you guys. I really wanted to be here. I said, since I'm in your country, if I didn't attend, it will be somehow. And yeah, it's been a very good. And it's nice to see you, Mr. Tao. I think this is the first time we've been on the show in 2026. I don't know where you've been hiding. I don't know whether you follow Mr. Nangwe and Mr. Given to Labro to go put pillows on your land or whatever. But it's great to have you back.
He did protesting ICE in Minnesota. He did busy.
The minute try to recruit you. The minute try to recruit me, they talk to me. I was like, okay, let me think about it.
No, but you should. I think you do have a lot of ideas that you can offer to the CMC, and
yeah. Don't waste your time.
No, but actually, I was saying something in the background. Let me just say this. Why I'm very critical of his stability because of his past record.
You are here, Budi. They making you start talking about how
because of his past record.
No. See where it's coming from now.
No, I would say this because of his past record or allegations and some stuff. But there is no political party in recent time in Liberia, whether in power or out of power, that have actually tried to undertake, even though I'm not a fan of the individual stuff we have appointed someone out, like where Prince Johnson we build this one Falabella hospital that is serving an area, then something happened to him, family fighting over, then that community lose that. But why? I understand the frustration that is difficult for you to try to put together a national plan. So while you're trying to do it, go ahead and do something. So he's doing something. Most ability, there is no guarantee that he's going to win. But he is still doing something that it is there. The people will use it. So my question, so I have to recognize that. I can't throw the baby in the bathwater away. I have to recognize that actually. Because I followed some of the programs and I started watching and I see the quality of some of the stuff that he's doing. No, I will admit that, and that is what we have to do. Okay.
Mr. Nangwe, the man coming. This speech here, that coming home speech.
The man already there.
That coming home speech here, the man giving so.
I will admit that. Okay. Because if the man go and build a bridge in Bon County, guess what? No matter what we say, at the end of the day, it is not just about ideas and politics, but the bread and butter stuff, the thing that influence and affect the in a positive way. That bridge is there. They're not going to drown anymore. They can walk over it. They can get from one village to the other. Vehicles can go there. We have to admit that. So
No, but I'll tell you something, Mr. Tao, right? I heard him speak in Manchester. When was it? Was it last year? I think. And one
Last
of the
year,
things that he suggested,
last year,
yeah, one of the things, that he suggested, which I thought it was new to me, right? And I thought, whoa, how come somehow anything about this thing here was the fact that it would be a good idea for Liberians in the diaspora to be able to vote in national elections, right? And it's something I've really been thinking about in terms of how practical that is, right? Obviously, it will be difficult to get it passed because most lawmakers will not win election again once we got people from the diaspora registered. But even if we're just voting in presidential elections and not legislative elections, then because at the end of the day, I think Liberians in the diaspora should have a say in, because we are Liberians. If you take Mr. Tao, for example, and with all of the projects he's doing in Liberia and others on the panel as well, it makes sense that you should vote on things that will impact you. Like whoever the president will, they make the laws that will come and impact how your properties and your businesses are operating in Liberia. I think, and when I heard him talk about it, I'm like, okay, he got my attention. So yeah, there are some good things that he, and yeah. So, Mr. Tao, I don't think it'll be a bad idea. Yeah, if you want to.
No. I actually have to admit to that though, because it's one thing to critique and give opinion or state some facts, but you also have to, and we have to be able to do this to separate things, right? We see what he's doing. You can actually see and you can see the effect. So we have to admit to that.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. You got until all the time. I can't say anything. But that's okay. Look, the chief doesn't need to drop that case. You need to call. You need to go to the zone in Nima. That way they need to solve that problem. You okay? Yeah, you know, go down there and solve that problem. Then you start disturbing all and what. Look, there's too many important things on the docket that the Supreme Court needs to take care of. Then they'll be dealing with that kind of stuff. You know, it's not even anyway. But the whole demolition on the land, all the things. Look, there's an opportunity. You know, if you don't know how to do it, you're rich up. You ain't got to call me publicly. You can call me privately. I will get to you. Yeah, and you can solve this. You can take care of boy need on it. I don't care. But let's start building. Let's actually start building. Okay, this is an opportunity for a model for that bureau. Where we can say, oh, you know that place where the government did so and so thing in? Yes, that place is well organized. Okay, when it comes to the 285 machine, from the beginning, I knew the thing was going. Look, bringing machines into the country is not a difficult thing. Right? It's extremely easy. We've all seen that. You go, you find it, you send your bid out there, the people send it by, you pick one, you tell them how you will pay, they ship it to you. Case closed. It has never been an issue. Bringing machines into the country has never been. Most of them got machines. Private citizens get machines. Machine is not a problem.
North Carolina got machines.
Yes. You know, but
Georgia Tower got machines.
No.
Mike, let me recognize Fixed Electron is a regular here. I think they're turning is a he, or say he's turning it from Seattle. So I hope you join the game if you are in Seattle. But go Seahawks.
You know, and look, the issue is not bringing the machines. The issue is putting a plan together that is effective, that will actually get the work done. And that is where they are failing here again. You know, that's what we are. As for the Super Bowl, I'm going to claim neutrality because the Seattle Seahawks have our quarterback.
You're the one who let Donald go.
You bring politics and everything. I will talk about
the Super Bowl. Bad judgment.
The Seahawks.
So who's playing who then in the Super Bowl thing here today?
The New England playing Seattle Seahawks. New England
Patriots. And the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks is a first-year quarterback. Last year, he played for the Vikings. And he took the Vikings.
Minnesota.
Yes, he played for the Minnesota Vikings. So he is close to our heart. Sam Darnold is a guy that's close to our heart.
Let him go.
As for the New England Patriots.
Speaking it to them.
As for the New England Patriots, their star receiver, okay, is the Miracle Man. The man that performed the Minneapolis Miracle. You know, here in Minneapolis when we beat what do you call him? New Orleans, New Orleans Saints. You know, and so that's our guy. So we are split. In Minnesota, we are split between the two of them. We love both of them.
Understandable.
So therefore, we are putting our hands. So we just want a good game. So good luck to both of you guys. To all our audience, all that, thanks for joining. We appreciate it. We had a very, very interactive show today. We want to encourage you guys. Look, we will do what we can to get the phone numbers back up. I kind of felt that today. That if we had the phone numbers back up today, we're going to get a lot more people calling. We'll do what we can to get the phone numbers back up. And you can hold me to that, and we'll work on that. Okay. We want to appreciate all of you for joining us and sticking with us over the period of time. We appreciate you every single Sunday. We'll be here again next week, Sunday. Hopefully, our chief host, Mr. Gaiman, will be here. Right now, he's tending to some family issues. I hear Ice is going to Florida. I don't know whether he's trying to buy a bear. I don't know. But yes, hopefully he'll join us next week. But until then, we want to say stay safe. Okay, and let's keep working on Liberia. Liberia is indeed all we have. You guys have a great night.
We are Liberia. Liberia is our home. Liberia people. Liberia.